We're not done. Grab a ruler here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I guess I get it up in here. You can see it's about 5 inches off that body. The suspension on that bike, even though I've got it all the way up to the highest setting, the shock on the bike is as firm as it gets. This is just my hand. So when I get on it, that bars moves from 5 inches to 2 inches from the body. If I put a second person on there, it moves to about 1 inch sitting. If I hit a bump, it's gonna hit. I've got to do something with this body, or with this suspension on the bike just being way too much. And you can see how much it moves. That's just my hand. So anyway, it came with no instructions at all. Did some looking on YouTube, a couple forums. Apparently, these settings that I have, you can see that down there, are the lowest that they can be. So if I move this to the top, this to the top, and then of course this one forward and this one forward, might be able to see it better over here. I think there's more light. Apparently, talking on the forums, that inch that moves on that little adjuster will move that body almost 12 inches. I don't know about that. So when I lift up on it, I mean, you know, it sets it all the way up like that. I don't know if it'll stay. Let's get my ruler back out. Just that. Brought it up about 1 inch. Not quite, almost. And it's still not even as high. You know. Apparently that'll set the preload to where the suspension on the bike will actually function the way it's supposed to. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. I tried moving it once before. I stuck a jack under the frame of the bike, lifted the bike, thinking the trike would roll into it. Doesn't work that way. Apparently I have to jack up the frame of the back of the trike part of it, lifting it up, pushing these down, then lift the bike up, pushing it up, tighten everything all up as is, take it all, jacks and everything out, test it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it absolutely as high as I possibly can. That means as stiff as it can possibly get. If it's too stiff, I'll go back to the bike itself and I can adjust that shock. But yeah, that thing's moving literally to where this just is 1 inch off the body. Never mind hitting a bump or anything. Just not acceptable. That's way too much movement. Way too soft. So, I'm hoping those guys on the forums are right. If not, I'm going to have to break down and have to give Mac an American Trike, Extreme Trike, a call on Monday and see what I can do. Yeah, 2 up is no. Unless I take that off. I can make it work. I cut this part of this off here because it did hit over there on the body. I think you can see that earlier. It didn't hit it bad, but it's enough. I mean, I didn't go off curbs or anything, but I hit a couple of bumps at about 30, 35, and it hit it. So I think just cutting that would fix it if I didn't have this on the back. But I want that on the back. And this should not be moving to where this bar hits that body. That's way too much. Don't get me wrong, I like that nice, soft, comfy ride, but no, that's too much. The bike needs to stiffen up, and we need to actually use the shocks on the trike itself. So that's what I'm going to do. I honestly really don't know how. I'm just going off of what they said on the forums. See if that works. Like I said, I'm just going to loosen up those nuts and bolts. Jack up the back part of the trike. I should see them move at that point, then jack up the body of the frame of the bike separately. So it pushes everything down in the middle. If it works, I'll bring you in on it. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to have to figure out a way to make it work. I mean, I know they adjust. I know it'll slide down. I just got to figure out how to get it to do that. So, just thought I'd share what I'm doing next. Hopefully I'll be back with them with this all the way at the top of that. That's my hopes. And then I can adjust the shocks if need be, because right now I got them at their stiffest setting, so if I can turn them down if I need, great. So, see you in a few. Alright, so as you know, I was looking at trying to tighten up this suspension here because it's like trying to ride a lazy boy on waves. It's way too soft. So, as you saw in the last video, these are all the way at the bottom. They're loose. They're not going anywhere. They will not go up. I tried jacking the bike up, frame. Tried jacking the swing arm up. Tried just jacking up the axle way in the back. Yeah, it didn't get me anywhere. Did absolutely nothing. They do not move. So, sent an email to Mac over there at American Trike, Extreme Trike. He replied to my email. Didn't actually answer my question about the adjustments on that. But he did tell me that's apparently well known to all of them. As you saw earlier, the instruction sheets and everything that came with this were none. He's working on that, he tells me. He's making some PDFs, and questionnaires and forms that go on the website. Way down in there, underneath the body, inside the axle, inside the swing arm, there's a monoshock. Apparently, they all know this. You're supposed to take that shock out and put just a solid piece of steel in there so the bike itself has no suspension. If you don't do that, you'll end up with the issue I have. Yeah. I'm kind of frustrated. You know, because I mean, I have to take the entire body off, lights, the wirings, I have to unhook everything, set that somewhere and hope I don't scratch it. I have to take the rear fender, the seats off, take the axle off. Hopefully I can get it all lined back up the way it is. Take the swing arm off. Don't know if you can see it in there. That's that plate on the swing arm. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's kind of dark. Get you in a little closer. I don't know if that helps or not. But yeah, there is absolutely no way to get that shock out with the swing arm in place. Well, that's a bummer. So anyway, get it all back off. Take the shock out. Get some flat steel, maybe an inch thick, inch and a half thick. Now I haven't measured the shock. I don't know bolt center to bolt center width or anything. I'll have to get that all done. Before I take the shock off, I'm going to have to figure out how to measure it while it's on the body where I want it to sit, you know, the right height, which is right about here. Figure out how to match that, measure it, get a piece of steel, cut it to that exact length, drill some holes in it, bolt it in place of that shock so it's a solid piece of steel so the whole frame on the bike is rigid, and then just using the suspension on the trike. Yeah, well, as you saw, I've already been out riding. Can't ride double because it's way too soft for double. There's nothing wrong with the trike part or the way it's put together or any of the preload or adjustments. That shock needs to come out. That's the problem. So, deconstruction, disassembly, frustration. Damn it, I got it all 99% done. So, strip it all down, get that shock out, get a piece of metal in there. Now, Mac actually called me today. We were talking and he was telling me about it. After I got his email, I replied back to it, my concerns, and I asked him to talk to his boss. All the issues I've had. Now, a lot of you haven't seen the issues that I've had. I have refrained from posting those so far. They're not bad per se. It's very blunt, very factual, the issues I had with it. I don't, how do I say it? I'm not mean, but I definitely point out the faults and things I had to fix along the way. Powder coating was chipped. It was bad. I don't know if you can see it, the third member, pumpkin, whatever you want to call it, the live axle where the two halves come together, that shiny chrome piece. It's not on top, but and then I've cleaned it up. It was completely just covered in RVT. I mean, it looked like the guy had it in his hand and just didn't clean it up when he was done. I've cleaned it up. The other thing is, it looks like they were trying to get the two halves to go together, and they were hitting it on the side with maybe a sledgehammer. Yeah, there's some chunks of metal that were missing. Haven't posted any of that stuff yet. I wanted to get the whole thing done, which I am, but now I gotta tear it all apart. Anyway, asked him to talk to his boss with all the issues I've had and this, that, and the other thing. If they would just go ahead and grab a piece of flat stock steel, cut it. I think he was guesstimating like 12 inches, you know, and I said make a hole above, make a hole below, and then, you know, I'll use the one that works for me. Plus, if I decide I want to adjust it later, I can. Powder coat it. Good powder coat. And send it to me. This is Sunday. He's going to get back to me Monday and let me know whether that's doable or not. If it is, I'm going to start tear down either way, because I got to fix it. If it's a no, that'll be added to the bitch session videos, because that should have been, at the very least, while I was getting the axle framework powder coated, getting the body painted, all that stuff, while I had it apart, if there had been a note in there to tell me that that shock had to come out and you had to put a strut in, I would have had it done, and there would have been no issue. I wouldn't have been happy, because I think that should have been included with the amount of money I spent on this. I mean, I spent over $10,000. Yeah, I did. That does not include paint, rims, tires. That was just the bare bones kit that you saw at the beginning of the video. It should have included it. The very least, there should have been a note in there, some sort of instructions saying, hey, you need to take that shock out and put this in, or make this and have it put in. Yeah, I've been fighting with this. How many videos now? 4 or 5? So it's over a month trying to get that suspension tweaked. Couldn't, because it's not put together right, because I didn't know any better. Now, they've never offered me any discounts, nothing. All these videos I'm doing are not for them. Those are for you, the viewers watching. I think I've got a few of you still watching with me. Yeah, it's, well, I shouldn't even say that. It's not even exactly for you. It's for me years down the road if I want to look back and see what I did or how I did, or, hey, I did this, So I guess it's more for me and you, anyone else who buys this kit or one similar to it, and you can see the experiences I went through and what you're going to have to go through, and in case you don't get any instructions like I didn't. And options, I did this tour pack thing. You may not do that, but it's the nice thing about this. You can do what you want. I'm still going to get those little roll bar thingies here on the fenders to kind of match that now that... But now I got this big gaping hole that I'm not happy. Oh well, it's already cut. It's already painted. It's done. Getting that all apart. I am actually going to take the seat off. And some of you are probably yelling at me right now. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to take the seat off. See if I can just take the fender off. Because I can leave the body on and still get the fender out. I got a big enough hole there. I can get the fender out. Take a look inside. See if there's any possible way I can get that thing out without taking everything apart. I'm going to do everything I can to avoid taking this apart. Getting those to line up, getting the shaft drive in there. Yeah, it's a shaft drive, remember? Getting that all lined up and in there, getting the body to line up. That's a lot of work, and I'm just one guy in my garage. And you can see the bench lathe over there, the CNC machine, the welder. Yeah, I ain't got none of that. No winch on the ceiling to lift anything. Just the garage door opener. Yeah, all by hand and floor jacks. Oh, there's one of them. And then my little 3-ton floor jack underneath the bench there. So, yeah, just sharing. Got to tear it out. Took the whole side compartment off, made it easier. Tied up the filter and the fuel pump and stuff so they're out of the way and not an issue. That's just sitting over here. It's just those 4 bolts that hold it on. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. And then these two and that one hold the AIS. Which is folded up here. For those of you who don't know, that's the AIS. Well, I just realized there is no wires going to that. I didn't realize that when I put it up there. Here. I'm probably going to put it back in just because it's tucked up, it's out of the way. Nobody knows it's there but me. It's behind a cover. And that way if something ever happens, whatever down the road and I need it, it's there. I was also going to take this pipe off and the one on the other side. But, I just bypassed that loop right there and closed them off. And hell, it runs great. I'm not even going to mess with it. Those pipes running out there don't bother me. I mean, it's just a little bit more to clean, when I'm cleaning it, but yeah, so the gist of it is taking this shock out. Got my wrench in the way down here. But basically going to unbolt the bottom one. We got the swing arm supported by that jack. We got the frame supported by that. The wheels, the swing arm, I hope are going to hold the back end of this. But basically, I'll just get that bolt out of there, get the shock out, take the top one off. I've already got it loose. Actually, all of it was pretty easy. There's no rust, corrosion. It's only got just under 7,000 miles on it, so everything's pretty clean. I did have to loosen this piece here off the swing arm to give me some room to get my wrench in there. But yeah, we'll get that out, and then basically I'm going to run 2 sheets of metal 1/4 inch thick, 12 and 1/8 inch long. This bolt hole to the shock bolt hole down there, one on either side of it. There'll basically be two with about an inch gap in between them, and that'll give me, instead of this being bending in the middle, so it doesn't feel like a lazy boy riding on the ocean, it's going to be a solid, rigid, not going to move. So yes, as I said, all the filing, cutting, sanding, making it fit back there was a waste. This would have came with instructions, or if, like I told him on the phone, if there had been just a little note in there, hey, take the shock out and replace it with a solid piece of steel or it don't work right. When I had the body out being painted, when I had the framework for the axle out being repowder coated, anywhere along the way when I was sitting, for 4 or 5 days waiting on parts, I could have had this done. Oh well. He says he's updating their website and there'll be PDFs and everything that come out with it. Pretty sure I won't see any part of that. A little discount would have been nice, guys, but it is what it is. Getting that swapped out, other than time, the two pieces of metal, they're not a big deal. I think he's going to try and send me some. I am not going to wait or hold my breath for it. I'm going to go ahead and get this tore out, measure that shock from bolt hole to bolt hole, get the exact measurements, the width and everything. And if I happen to get a package in the mail before that, great. If not, I'll run down to the steel shop and get a couple pieces of flat steel and round them out, drill them, match these holes, powder coat them, put a spacer in between because it won't have the shock there anymore. Haven't decided if I'm going to put like little ladders in it, left and right. It really shouldn't need it. If you look at the little handle there, the steel that the shock bolts onto, it's not even a 1/4 inch thick. You can see that better from up here. And it's only about an 1/8 inch thick, so putting 1/4 inch flat stock in there is going to be, and one on each side is going to be more than enough. I will never have to worry about it. So I don't know, just thought I'd let you see an update where we're at. Hopefully the next one you'll see, I'll get the shock out of the way so you can see that. And then you'll see me putting the other ones in. And I'm sure I'm going to be cussing at them. Because with the shock I can already see once I get that bolt out, I'm going to have to hit it with a hammer or something, kick it out of there to get it loose. So that means when I put those plates in, I'm going to have to tap them back in or fiddle with them to get them in. So there we are, and good look at that AIS or ASI, AIS, whatever you want to call it. Basically just a valve. When it gets suction up top, it pulls through the bottom too. I don't exactly know. That's a wastegate, and then the drain relief line, I guess you'd call it. Alright, see you when I get that shock out. That I think I failed. It's alright, we'll make new ones. We'll make it sit and look perfect. Like I said, it just would have been nice if there had been just a note taped to it. Change strut out, or shock out for a solid strut. Yeah. We'd be cruising the neighborhood today. We're going to let that go. We're just going to let it go. So yeah, then this will all slide back forward and down in the front, and yeah. So now I'm going to wait. I just got off work a little bit ago. Everything's closed by the time I get off work. This weekend, Saturday, I'll get to the steel shop. Unless he happens to send those in the mail to me, then we'll go with that. But I did tell him to send me an email if he was going to. Also asked him to send me an email if he's not going to. So I'm not sitting here waiting on him, but at the same sense, so I don't go get it and then he mails them to me. That'd be a waste on both our parts. I've got enough waste going on. So if I don't hear nothing from him tomorrow, well, it doesn't matter. I'll wait till Saturday, you know. If it's not in the mail Saturday when I get here, if I don't even have an email from him, well, quite frankly, screw him at that point if he hasn't sent it to me. I'll just go buy my own, be done with it. You know, if it takes you a week just to tell me whether you can or you can't, just tell me you can't and be done with it. That's how I look at it. If it takes you a week to figure out if you can send me 2 pieces of metal, 12 and 1/8 inch long. I don't even know, 1/2 inch holes. This is the bottom one. That thing, it's either aluminum or it's hollow. Interesting, it weighs like nothing. Top one actually fell off on the other side. I haven't fished it out yet. But yeah, that's it. We're done. Everything will sit up high, it'll be rigid. That can't move, can't hit the body anymore. Don't have to worry about that coming down. Slide the body forward. Worst case scenario, as I drill, well, I'm going to drill out the 2 holes I filled in. I just put a little bit of body filler on the top and then covered up with that mat. So, well, I painted it and then covered up with that mat. So I'll do the same thing with the new holes that I made and slide everything forward. Nobody will know but me. Alright, well, this is it till I get those pieces of metal to put in. Well, last I heard, he told me the boss was in Pennsylvania. You had to wait for him to get back. Even if he was on his way back then, I'm not waiting a day to decide, a day to ship and a day to make, and yeah. Went out, bought some 1/4 inch flat cold steel. 3-foot piece. Cut it down to 13 inches each. Just getting ready to drill that top hole there. And once I get it done, I'll clamp them together. Drill the other one. Clamp them together so they're matched. Put it in. Measure it down to the bottom one. Hit it with my center punch. Drill that bottom hole. Go from there. Now my idea is, if I get this to stand up, of course I'm not gonna. Sort of. And then of course the other one will be standing up here like this. They'll be side by side. But I'm thinking about taking this piece and just kind of welding it in right in the middle like an I-beam between the two. I may have to cut it, you know, I don't know the thickness yet, or the width, this way. I'm putting it between the two, welding it in on both sides. But as I said, this stuff's a 1/4 inch thick. The brackets in there, I know you can see one right there, is an 1/8 inch thick. But I'm thinking that's made out of chromoly. I'm hoping. This stuff's just cold rolled steel. So it looks all big and bad and heavy. I don't think it's going to be half as strong as that chromoly. Plus making that I-beam in here, well, let's face it, I'm never going to worry about it again. And then when I get it all cut, holes drilled, I'll round the corners, make everything look pretty. Then I'm going to take it in to get it powder coated to match the frame, or the powder coating I had done to the rear axle after I got it. Still haven't posted those videos, but let's just say it wasn't. Yeah, I feel that American Trike, Extreme Trike, I kind of think they owe me about $4,500. I'm never going to see it. But yeah, I think they owe me about $4,500. Not to mention if they make any links to my YouTube videos, because they have none. They don't even have a letter they send you to tell you to pull your shock out and make a strut to put in there. They don't even send you an email telling you that. Anyway, showing you where I'm at. I'm going to get this one drilled, line it up in there and see what I think, figure out where I want that bottom hole, clamp it to the other one, match the holes up, round the corners, and go from there. When I get that part of it done, I'll bring you guys back in. Let's take a look at what I got and go get it all powder coated and hopefully have it done. I'm really hoping to already done been riding by now. Thanks.